Well, good morning, everybody. Hey, I just thought I'd do a follow-up on beans, green beans. If you remember, the last video I did on this was about a month ago. I think it was the 23rd of August, and today it is the 20th, I think, of September. So it's about a month later. And as you remember, what I was trying to do was a little video on which ones did better, Provider beans or Blue Lake beans. And then at the conclusion of that video, I decided to, well, let's see if I can plant some more beans and see if I can get 2 harvests out of that. Because you remember the last video, I did harvest those beans. So anyway, here we are today, and yeah, it sure looks like I can get 2 harvests out of this. Let me grab the camera here, and I'll show you how these beans are doing. Okay, now let's go over here. If you remember, this was the last section over here. These are the Provider beans, and they did really well. And these were planted about June 11th, I think, something like that. And I left these in there after they were, pretty well exhausted, for the sole purpose of collecting the seeds. So here's these seed pods. I'm going to pull these off. I think they've all matured quite a bit to where they're way past eating now, but anyway, I'm going to save those seeds, and we're going to use those to plant some more Provider beans later on. Now if you remember these three tubs over here, I had Blue Lake beans in there, and they did pretty well, but not quite as well as the Provider bean did. But anyway, I replanted Blue Lake beans about a month ago, and here's what we've got now. And these are probably, I don't know if I've got this, yeah, here it is. This is what I planted in here. These are Blue Lake beans, and I think these must be climbing beans. They're not bush beans. As you can see, they're climbing, and they're going all over the place. But the point is, that's only just a little more than a month of growth, and we are seeing buds and things like that, so that we're going to get some more beans off of these. Yeah, here's well, I thought there was a bean forming, but anyway, so these are the Blue Lake beans, the climbing beans, pole beans, I guess they call them. You can see there's a vine going clear up there to the top. I don't know how we're going to deal with that. And we've got some cucumber vines intermixed there. Now, over here, if you remember on that last video, I just said, well, I've got some more Provider beans, and I'm going to throw them in here. And so I did, and this is a month's growth, about the same time period as the Blue Lake beans that I was just showing you over there. But look at the difference here. We've got lots of blossoms, and there's actually some beans forming. So, and it is, like I said, the middle of September. So we're going to get a second crop of beans out of this, obviously, certainly out of this one, and more than likely out of those other Blue Lake beans over there. But as you can see, again, the Provider beans seem to be doing faster and better than the Blue Lake beans. So anyway, can you grow 2 crops of green beans in one season? I think I'm in area zone 5, I believe. And I'm in a place where we get winters, and it snows and everything. So I'm in northern Utah here. So in just a regular growing season, can you grow 2 crops of beans, green beans? Absolutely. And and I planted the first crop in June 11th, I believe it was. Now this is a greenhouse, but if you were just planting them outside, I think in most places June 11th is probably, you could probably plant them then in most places outside around here. So here we are. It's middle of September, or a little 20th of September, and this is the second crop, and it looks again like the Provider beans are a little bit ahead of the Blue Lake beans, even though those are pole beans and these are bush beans. And they were all bush beans last time. So, conclusion, yes, you can grow 2 crops of beans in one season, green beans, and you can do it quite well. So, there you go. Oh, one more thing I might add is it's cooled down in here in this last month, I guess, or 3 weeks. And in this greenhouse, it got quite hot. And, maybe up to 100 degrees every day. That's the best I could do to keep the temperature down. But even in that kind of heat, these beans did that well. So I just thought I'd pass that along too. Anyway, so that's green beans, growing green beans. And if you like green beans, you can grow a lot of green beans this way. And just put them in the freezer, put them up, whatever you want to do, or just eating them fresh in your daily meals. Boy, they're just delicious. So anyway, that's the report on growing green beans.